Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we are tackling a question that honestly haunts a lot of us. Why doesn't working hard automatically equal financial freedom? Seriously, we are told from a very young age that if you just put your head down and put in the hours, you'll naturally get ahead in life. But you know what? The data, our source material, and just everyday reality, they show a completely different story. Today, we're going to break down the exact step-by-step mechanics of why so many people remain financially trapped despite working incredibly hard, and how true wealth is actually built. Okay, let's dive into this. To really wrap our heads around why hard workers stay poor, I want to introduce you to a character from our source material. Let's call him Max the monkey. Now, Max represents the everyday, incredibly hardworking individual. He is the guy putting in the overtime, day in and day out, never complaining. But despite all that sweat equity, he finds himself trapped in this deeply frustrating financial cycle. He works endlessly, yet he never seems to actually get ahead or feel secure. So why is that? Section 1, the rat race routine.
This right here, this is where the trap gets set for so many of us. We start with a 4-step loop. Wake up early, work hard, spend almost everything, and repeat. This is Max's exhausting reality. At first glance, you might think, well, everything seems completely fine. He's earning an honest living, right? But the critical error, the absolute pitfall, happens in step 3. Every single month, Max takes his hard-earned income and spends it almost immediately on food, entertainment, gadgets, you name it. He's buying things that just make him feel good temporarily, but they offer zero long-term value. His hard-earned money, it's just fueling short-term rewards.
But here is the real kicker, and you've probably seen this happen in real life. Whenever Max gets a promotion or a salary bump, his spending goes right up alongside it. A bigger phone, a much better bike, way more expensive restaurants. This is classic lifestyle creep. It doesn't matter how much more he makes. He remains perpetually stuck trading his time for money because his expenses are completely anchored to whatever his income is. Years pass, he works harder than he ever has, but there's no way he actually feels financially free.
Now, flip the coin. Meet Leo. Leo is another monkey, and get this, he is earning the exact same amount of money as Max. There's literally no difference in their paychecks. But there is one absolutely crucial difference in their monthly habits. While Max spends all his money on instant rewards, Leo saves a portion of his income and buys assets. They start at the exact same starting line, but they are on a completely different financial trajectory.
Section 2, the secret of assets. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what Leo is actually doing with his saved cash. He isn't just hiding it under his mattress, he's deploying it. Let's define exactly what Leo is buying nice and simply. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket, period. It's a tool that grows in value and generates its own income over time. This could be stocks, index funds. Actually, scratch that. It can be anything that generates value. Businesses, rental properties, whatever. Leo is prioritizing these tools. He's basically buying little money-making machines instead of just buying a nicer bicycle that loses value the very minute he rides it. And you have to contrast that with a liability. A liability is just anything that takes money out of your pocket. The massive takeaway here is that every single dollar you spend is a choice. You are either choosing to build a system of wealth by buying an asset, or you're choosing to slowly drain your wealth by buying a liability. It seems like such a tiny choice in the moment, but it changes your entire life. Max buys liabilities, Leo buys assets. Section 3, the power of compounding. Okay, so at first glance, Leo's strategy, it looks agonizingly slow compared to Max, who's out there flashing a brand new phone. But there is a hidden engine driving Leo's true wealth behind the scenes. It's called the snowball effect. Think about a tiny snowball rolling down a hill. As it rolls, it gathers more snow, right? And the bigger it becomes, the faster it grows. Well, money works the exact same way. When your investments generate returns, those returns start generating their own returns. It's like magic. The growth just starts accelerating over time. Look at how this plays out over 1, 5, and 10 years. It's crazy. Max's financial state remains completely stagnant. If he stops working today, his income literally stops today. He's entirely dependent on his own physical effort. But Leo, over 5 and 10 years, that snowball has been rolling. Leo now owns multiplying assets that just continue growing whether he's working or completely fast asleep. His money has literally started working for him. Section 4, the wealth gap explained. So the crucial point is this. It's not really just a story about two monkeys, right? It highlights a fundamental difference in mindset. The poor mindset dictates that you spend your money first, and then you try to invest whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month, which, let's be real, is usually nothing. But the wealthy mindset completely flips the script. They invest first and then spend what is left. They make it a priority to buy their assets and secure their financial future before they ever touch their spending money.
This chart right here brilliantly debunks one of the biggest myths in all of personal finance. So many of us think wealth comes purely from earning a massive salary. But notice the breakdown here. Financial freedom doesn't live in your gross income. It lives entirely in the gap between what you earn and what you keep. A person with a totally moderate income who consistently grows that gap, they are going to build vastly more wealth than a super high earner who spends their entire paycheck on luxury liabilities. So, where does this leave our hardworking friend Max? How does Max actually escape this vicious cycle? How does he break free from his exhausting routine now that he realizes exactly where he went wrong? Section 5. Escaping the cycle. So, Max finally has his aha moment. He stops looking at his paycheck as just a ticket to buy more stuff, and he starts treating it as the seed for his own financial freedom. He adopts these 3 simple habits. 1. Save a portion of every single paycheck before spending a dime of it. 2. Invest that portion regularly. And 3. Let that money work alongside you. He finally realizes that the goal isn't getting rich overnight. The goal is to build automated systems that grow your wealth without requiring your constant daily physical effort. The core takeaway from all of this is honestly beautifully simple. Wealth is not about looking rich. You don't build wealth by showing off the absolute latest gadgets. Wealth is about owning things that grow. Start small. You do not need a massive salary to begin. Just stay consistent. Make those small choices repeatedly, thousands of times over the years. Because, ultimately, the absolute most powerful force in personal finance, it isn't a massive paycheck, it isn't some hot stock tip your buddy gave you, and it certainly isn't luck. It's time. Give compounding enough time, and let those small, consistent investments roll like a snowball down a hill, and it will absolutely change your life. So I want to leave you with this. Ask yourself today, are your daily financial habits utilizing time, or are they working against it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this visual journey helped clarify these essential concepts for you. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you on the next one.